You were told money was value, a system of exchange. A neutral tool, it's not. It's a binding spell, an invisible leash. A sigil stamped on paper and digital code, designed not to serve you, but to siphon you. Before coins, before banks, there was energy. We traded time, effort, life force. But someone asked, what if we could trap that and control it? And that's how money was born, not as a tool, but as a system of containment, of encoded worth. The dollar isn't just a bill, it's a ritual. And you're not spending it, you're feeding it. The earliest money wasn't paper, it was metal, shiny, heavy, rare gold. But gold had no value on its own. You can't eat it, you can't build with it. So why did ancient kings, priests, and gods demand it? Because gold was more than currency. It was conductive, alchemical. In Sumerian tablets, gods like Enlil and Enki demanded gold be mined and melted. Egyptian temples used it in ritual circuits. Alchemy called it the flesh of the sun. Gold wasn't wealth, it was a key to power, to immortality, to control. And whoever held it held the spell. Why do you think they call it currency? Because it moves like a current, it flows, it charges. And every time you use it, you give it your energy. But here's the trap, you don't control the current, they do. They decide when it inflates, when it crashes, when it's scarce, when it floods. You're taught to chase it, but chasing money is chasing a mirage. Because it isn't backed by gold anymore, it's backed by belief. A spell only works as long as you believe in it. And most of the world still does, for now. You weren't born in debt, but they made sure you die in it. The first bankers weren't accountants, they were priests, gatekeepers of temples who created ledgers, not to balance trade, but to record who owed what to the gods. That was the trick, turn offering into obligation. And with that, they created the most powerful form of control, debt. Not a trade, not a gift, a spell of scarcity. Money became a god, debt became a curse. And banks, modern-day temples, where the altar is digital and the sacrifice is your future. Look at your money, what do you see? Numbers, signatures, watermarks, look closer. You'll find occult symbols, pyramids, eyes, Latin incantations, Annuit coeptus, novus ordo seclorum. They're not just design, they're spells crafted to bind consciousness to commerce. The eye in the pyramid isn't American, it's Egyptian. It traces back to mystery schools, secret orders, and priesthoods that understood something you were never taught. Money is magic, not metaphorically, literally. It casts a spell on your time, your choices, your dreams. And the wallet? That's your portable altar. They've moved the money from metal to paper, from paper to code, and now you don't even hold it, you scroll it. Digital currency is the final phase of the spell, because it makes the chain invisible. You can't touch it, you can't keep it under your bed. It's in a cloud you don't control, a screen you didn't build, and a system you can be locked out of with one click. They called it progress, but it's containment. No coin, no cash, just control. The cage is now cashless, and the current artificial. Money didn't just hijack trade, it hijacked time. You were born into a system where your hours are priced, your energy is measured, your attention sold. You don't work for freedom, you work to survive, to eat, to pay to exist on a planet that was never supposed to cost anything. Your rent, your bills, your groceries, all forms of energetic taxation. Modern sacrifice paid in stress and fatigue. You're not poor because you're lazy. You're drained because you're being farmed. This isn't economy, it's alchemy. They've turned time into gold and you into the fuel. Swipe, tap, exchange, a digital handshake with the system. And what do you get? A product, a service, a dopamine hit. But what do they get? Your energy, your habits, your biometric data, your location, your pattern. The cash register isn't a machine, it's an altar. And every time you spend, you're participating in a ritual you were never taught the meaning of. And that's why everything's gamified, tracked, scanned, rewarded. Because this isn't capitalism, it's ceremony. Modern money is magic wrapped in interface. And most don't even realize they're casting spells. Money isn't evil, but it's been weaponized. It was meant to flow like water, now it's hoarded like power. But here's the truth they don't want you to know. You are the currency, your focus, your time, your voice. That's what they extract. That's what they bank on. And the spell? It only works if you believe the paper has more value than your presence. That the system owns your worth. But the moment you stop believing it, the spell cracks and the chain breaks. This is Emspiracy, and money was never real. But your power always was. Money travels with a signature. Not yours, not mine, but a face, a name, a mark placed by powers who claim authority over value. It's been that way for thousands of years, from emperors to monarchs to banks. Every transaction carries their imprint, not for beauty, for memory, for power, It's a system of symbols, and symbols carry meaning. You trade your time for paper, your paper for survival, but the face never changes. Ask yourself, why does every bill carry a legacy, but never your own? So what now? You don't have to reject money, you just have to reclaim your worth. Don't spend blindly, don't grind for digits. Don't worship a god you can't touch. Shift the current, use money like a mirror to show you where your energy is leaking. Then build outside the system, trade with intention, create with purpose. Circulate energy, not just currency, because the real wealth is your will, your vision, and your voice. And once you break the spell, money chases you. You were never broke, you were just drained. They made you believe money was the goal, that having it meant power, that lacking it meant failure. But you were never poor, you were just bled. Your focus, your attention, your energy turned into currency for them, while they printed digits and sold you the dream. They told you to hustle, to grind, to chase what they control. But the truth, you were the value all along. You're not broke, you're not behind, you're waking up. And once you remember that, you don't chase money, you become the force it fears. You were born into a system where success is a scoreboard. Money, followers, status, stuff. But what if the scoreboard was rigged? The richest people don't play the game, they own the board. While you're chasing income, they're generating interest. While you're working hours, they're controlling time. They made the rules, then sold you a dream called freedom, wrapped in bills, stamped with faces, and paid for in hours you'll never get back. It's not a game, it's a cage, and they taught you to decorate it. In the oldest teachings, money didn't exist, but energy did. Not just trade, exchange. A song for a loaf of bread, a healing for a place to sleep. Value was sacred, not stored, shared, not sold. And what replaced it? Digits, paper, plastic, now code. But the real wealth still lives in the unseen. In your words, your creations, your courage, your soul print. That's why they built a system to measure your worth in coins, because they knew if you remembered who you are, you'd stop spending and start transmitting. The truth they fear most, you don't need it. Not like they told you. Trade, skill, community, creativity, those were always the real currency. But they disconnected you from your worth, from your power, from each other. They made you believe value only comes from banks, brands, and balances. But the moment you reconnect, you stop feeding their machine. You build, you barter, you break free. Because money didn't create the world, people did. And now people are waking up. You want out? Start transmitting. Not hustle, not grind, but frequency, creation, alignment. Speak truth, move with purpose, give without expectation. Charge what you're worth, because you're not selling, you're circulating. When your energy is clean, when your intention is clear, when you stop chasing and start emanating, money shifts, it finds you, because the system only feeds on the blind. But the aware, the aligned, they build their own flow. You don't need to burn it down, you just need to outgrow it. This is Emspiracy, and wealth is what you carry in.